A few days ago, while traveling the road that runs between Falkreath and Lightrun, Lucian and I were attacked by a strange man. After dispatching him, we searched his possessions, and I recovered a note written by one of his associates, someone named Camilla. Apparently, the two of them had been contracted to delve into a newly uncovered ruin. A set of caves that hugged the Velothi Mountains that separate Skyrim and Morrowind. Seeing no reason to pass up such an opportunity, Lucian and I decided to accept the invitation and pour Isidore's stead. If only we had ignored that letter.
Isidore, got the Belden job for us. Meet me up near Craig's Wallows Slope in East March. Leave as soon as you get this. I hear tell of some ruins there leading into the Velothi Mountains, just uncovered by a landslide, they say. This is big, fresh ruins. If we could be the first to pick them over, we could be rich. Who knows what's down there, though? Bring the best gear you can lay hands to. Pick off somebody on the road of good stuff if you have to. Just get it and get to me as quick as you can. Camilla.
Doody-doo, 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 doody-doo. Kinda catchy. Good afternoon. Really? You're sure? Well, I suppose I've had my money's worth. Come find me back in Falkreath if you change your mind. And thanks.
Isidore, got sick of waiting for you. I've gone on ahead to scout the tunnels. I'll put up some torches to light the way. Pick up your feet and follow them to find me. I mean it. Hurry up. I want to see your fingers stained from finding this note with the ink still wet. Something in this place makes my hair stand on end. It's as if the shadows are moving. Camilla. Use the door. Dwemer Ruins. I thought this was just an old imperial place, but no. That must have come later. There's more than that here. This might be it. This could change everything for us. Just be careful. There is someone else down here. Something not right about her. Always disappears before I can get a good look. I can't leave, though. Not now. Camilla.
"20th of Thun's Dusk, 4th era 33. By the divines, am I glad to be heading away from Clockwork Castle, and away from those metal men. It's not just me. I can see it in the faces of the whole caravan. Everyone's scared of them. A special dead-end trip once a month through the crumbling, gloomy tunnels and back again for just one customer. It spooks the horses, and it spooks the man. Klonovic doesn't pay enough for this. Come to that, his old man didn't spend enough clearing and shoring up the tunnels in the first place. You'd think that of all people he could afford it. I guess you don't become a trader baron by way of being overly free with your money. So many side passages, blank doorways yawning at us as we pass, and no one knows what's down there. All we can do is stick to the main road and listen to the clatter of the carts that go down those darkened corridors as we pass them by. Come the morning, we'll have to get the carts up those damnable stairs. I swear those boards are gonna slip one of these days. But then we'll be outside and back in the world again. Man, the snow. I suppose them here we're out of the weather at least.
Use the door. This is all wrong. I can't go back. I can't face it. Where are you? I needed you and you aren't here. I thought those were your footsteps, but they weren't. Always coming up behind me, but nothing there. Time stood still and she came towards me, slowly, slowly. I couldn't move. I can't believe anymore. Can't face it. Can't go back out into the world. I'll just sit here with the bones. Until it's over. Sorry, Isidore.
Hello. Welcome to Clockwork Castle. I am Blackheart. It has been many years since our last visitor. Namash too wants to speak to you. Please, follow me. I came out when I heard the rock fall. By the sound of it, you are lucky to be unhurt. It was the tunnel, wasn't it? It has been threatening to collapse for a long time now. That means there's no going back that way. You may be trapped here. Well, Namash too will know what to do. I apologize for the state of the house. It has been just Namash too that I hear for some time now. I shall light the lamps momentarily. Here we are. Namash too is just over there. Please introduce yourself to her. In the meantime, I shall go light the lamps and unlock the doors. Please excuse me.
Who are you, and what are you doing here? And the tunnel collapsed. Yes, I heard it. No one has used those tunnels in well over 100 years. There is only one other way out of the castle and this valley. Beneath the keep is the travel machine. It can transport you to the major settlements of Skyrim. Ask Lahar to take you to it. He will need to let you out on the other side. Go to Lahar. Ask him to let you out through the travel machine.
There you are. I've rented the master bedroom, since you may be staying with us for some time. That is strange. The travel machine is not functional at this time. In fact, very few machines here are working right now, as the pressurized steam they rely on is not reaching the castle. Perhaps she forgot. Here, I can show you. The travel machine is this way, beneath the keep. Please, come this way. Try entering the machine. You shall see that it is not working. As you can see, the machine is cold and lifeless. I'm afraid you cannot leave. No, the cliffs surrounding the castle are too steep to traverse, and now that the last tunnel has fallen in, no avenues remain. To be honest, I had thought the route you took to reach here to be blocked on the other side for a very long time now. After all, we are subject to the occasional tremor here. From Red Mountain, I believe. In fact, one such tremor is to blame for the lifeless machines around the castle. It was particularly violent and breached the main steam pipeline. I attempted to repair the damage, but my brothers and sisters hampered my efforts and drove me out. Yes, down in Erdural, deep beneath the castle. They have grown wild, and we are no longer welcome there. You could. Doing so would restore steam power to the castle, yes. The pipeline ferries steam from deep in Erdural, but it is easy to find. It can be followed back from the castle, and it is spewing steam. From what I saw, at least 10 sections of pipe have been breached. All must be replaced. Fortunately, plenty of scavenged replacement pipes are lying about down there. They were intended for eventual use in the castle. Alternatively, if you know how to work Dwemer metal, you may want to use one of the forges down there to cast your own. Above all, however, be wary of my brothers and sisters, for they may attack you. Passage to Gurdiram may be found through the mausoleum, outside. Lamash too has the key. You will need to obtain it from her. In the meantime, you are our guest here. Please treat Clockwork Castle as your home. If you have questions, I will try to answer. If you wish for me to show you around some part of the keep, I can do that too. Yes, I shall endeavor to answer. I am a caretaker. I see to it that the castle is kept in good repair. I am a caretaker. I also see to the needs of castle residents. Once the travel machine is again functional, I can use it to trade for necessities with merchants in Skyrim. I will be able to arrange trades for you at that time. I wear robes. Yes, and observers believe that beneath the robes, I am wearing a suit of Dwemer armor. Feel free to make use of anything you may find lying about the castle. I am afraid though that until the travel machine is restored, further supplies, such as food, will not be available. Clockwork Castle sits high in the Velothi Mountains that border Skyrim and Morrowind. It is naturally well defended by virtue of its very remote and treacherous surrounds. It was built by the Clockwork family in the closing years of the Third Era, some 200 years ago. The Clockwork family were very successful traders, and the castle was intended to administer a new trading route between Skyrim and Morrowind. However, the devastation of the Red Year put an end to those plans by way of destroying the trade route and the people they wished to trade with. So I was told at least. That was all before March 2 and I came here. I know little of such things, but I was told that this style of furnishing was popular in Hyrule some time ago. Or perhaps you are referring to the machines. The first were built by Ludwig, though I believe Lamash too helped. For the machines that were large in number, or in size, or in scope, there my brothers and sisters helped also. We all did. Ludwig used to live here with us. It was he who first invited Lamash to and I to live in the castle. I have not seen Ludwig in a very long time. I don't know. I believe he kept a series of journals, however. Perhaps the answer can be found in their pages. I recall seeing them scattered about the keep. You might try looking in the master bedroom, mage's study and travel room. It was a freehold colony of the Dwemer, and my old home. Sadly, it is now a ruin, and we are no longer welcome there. Lamash too and I are fortunate to be able to now call Clockwork Castle our home. It was not always like this. Ludwig used to live here too. So did his family and servants, but they all left long ago, shortly after March 2 and I came here. They are like me. You cannot kill us. You may need to knock us down, but we shall rise again, eventually. Do not worry. They are gaslights and are largely automated. It only took a moment. Of course. I can show you the master bedroom, kitchen, travel room, armory, workroom, mage's study, glass garden and living quarters. I can also explain the workings of the pneumatic tube terminals about the keep. Please let me know if you would like me to show you somewhere. Come find me if you need something. Is there anything I can do to help? Certainly. Where shall I take you? Of course. Please, follow me. This is the master bedroom. Please feel welcome to treat it as your own. Rest if you are weary, and safely store your belongings if you are burdened. This is the bathing room. To wash the mortal body aids social interaction and fortifies against disease. Manipulate the taps to produce cold or heated water. I hope that helped. Please let me know if you would like me to show you another part of the castle.
The Journal of Ludwig Clockwork, Part 1, 3rd of Evening Star, 4th Air 16. Today we laid my father to rest in the mausoleum. It is a strange feeling, knowing that his shell just lies there alone, and that at any time I could go look upon it, as if he were still here. Instead, I shall honor his wish and begin the keeping of this journal. It's past time I did. He certainly prodded me into it for long enough. Should this first entry be a commemoration of Father's life? I lack the words to adequately describe him, I think. His achievements are familiar to most. Everyone knows the Clockwork Trading Company. There's little I could add, and less that would be of interest, I'm sure, coming from me. I can say, however, that he shall be missed. We commend thee and lay thee to rest, Maximilian Clodovec. Father. 10th of Morning Star, 4th Air 17. It occurs to me that for this journal to be of use to anyone, I should explain who I am. My name is Ludwig Clodovec, now the Lord of Clodovec Castle, I suppose. Lord of a trade route to nowhere. It barely entered my thoughts as a child, as I have no memory of living anywhere else, but our castle is truly remote. It was Father's grand project, a new trade route between Skyrim and Morrowind, administered by the Clodovec Company alone. A fool's project is what they called it. How could it replace the Sea of Ghosts route? They said. What of the phenomenal expense in tunneling under the mountains? Said others. But Father's plan was more simple. Why forge a new path when one can reclaim an old one? Tolvald's Crossing was too dangerous and too far south in any case. The mysterious tunnels that Father set his mind and considerable fortune to, and he never did reveal how he knew of them, were not too far from the port in Windhelm. He knew no name for these tunnels, and since they went beneath the Velothi Mountains, he and all the workers came to simply call them the Velothi Tunnels. Clearing the way was dangerous, but the work involved was relatively slight. These tunnels emerged in a small valley high in the mountains, before plunging beneath the rocks again down to Morrowind. Clodovec Castle was built in this valley, a gatehouse in the center of the would-be trade route. And that is how I grew up, observing the construction of our castle, watching and pestering the workers, the builders, stonecutters, carpenters, and smiths. Tools and machines fascinated me, hammers and axes, pulleys and levers. I relished seeing the walls go up, the rooms take shape. Father was more keen on the furnishings. They had to match the latest fashions of faraway High Rock. That was home, to him, and to Mother. I was too young to remember, but they are distinctive. Everything went wrong in the Red Year. Not merely for us, of course, it was the death of so very many. But that was when the tunnel down to Morrowind fell in, killing the workers inside. It was the end of Father's grand project. Even if our route had survived, the people of Morrowind did not. There was no one left to trade with. Mother died not long after, along with my sister who would have been. So much went wrong. The castle was nearly complete by then, and though, again, people called him mad, Father decided to have it finished. Certainly, some things were called off and cut short. I think the armory was originally intended to be another grand entrance hall, leading onto quarters for prestigious guests, a ballroom and such. But still, it became Clodovec Castle, our home. My aunts and uncles always said that Father never recovered from those days. Why else would he choose to stay in the place that had come to represent his very dear failure? Father may have founded it, but they took on the running of Clodovec Company from then on. My siblings mean to take up the business also, or so they informed me during their brief visit to inter Father. They may have been anxious to leave the castle once they were old enough. They could not stand the isolation. But I, of course, remained here, with Father and the staff. I remember I was severely disappointed when the last of the construction came to a close. Some of the carpenters and smiths had treated me almost as an apprentice. But then they had to leave, and there was nothing more to do. Father had noted my interest in intricate mechanics, though, and devoted that in a trade in intricate jewelries. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it suits me well enough, and I can labor at home in the castle. It is also very profitable. And there you have it, I suppose. Lord Ludwig Clodovec, the jeweler.
Hello. Do you need something? Certainly. Where shall I take you? Of course. Please, come this way. This is the mage's study. To refine the ingredients of alchemical use. To employ the souls of magical use. There is an enchanting table and an alchemy lab here. Unfortunately, they both contain fragile glasswork which was shattered in the same tremor that breached the steam pipeline. I am attempting to find replacement parts, but precise dimensions are required for both. It may take some time. I'm afraid neither station can be used until then. In any case, please note the balance scales atop each station. They can be used to measure out and sort alchemical ingredients and soul gems, respectively, into the nearby specimen cabinets. This is also a library. The basket here is used to sort books and documents into the bookcases against the walls. They are arranged in alphabetical order. Finally, the spiral staircase in the center of the room leads up to the glass garden on the roof. If you would like me to show you the garden too, just ask. I hope that helped. Please let me know if you would like me to show you another part of the castle.
The Journal of Ludwig Clodovec, Part 2, 12th of last seed, 4th era 17. Now that Father is gone, they pester me to expand the mausoleum in readiness for my eventual passing. Next in line to die. Fine, I shall order the excavation. 4th of Rain's Hand, 4th era 18. It is like turning over a rock and finding the twisting tunnels of an ant nest exposed to the sky. And yet here, the inhabitants did not scatter or erupt in a panic. They merely stood and stared, with those red pinpricks for eyes. 7th of Rain's Hand, 4th era 18. I should explain. In expanding the mausoleum, the workers broke through into some ancient catacombs of the Dwemer. They were beneath our feet, beneath the castle, all this time. Perhaps it should not be too surprising, the Velothi tunnels are home to some Dwemer ruins also. It is also strange, though. Where do I begin? I've read about Dwemer animunculi, all I could lay my hands on, as those were some of my favorites, but I've never seen any mention of what we found here. The workers called me down when they were about to breach the wall, and there we all stood, clustered around the hole. On the other side was our mirror image, a congregation of metal men staring back at us with their glowing red eyes. I was afraid. We all were, but while the workers all fled the mausoleum, I remained, frozen in place. Expecting your imminent death is a significant shock, but an even greater surprise awaited me. A metal woman came forward and spoke. She spoke to me. At first her words were unrecognizable. Was it the Dwemer language? Then she spoke in Cyrodiilic, that was slow and halting. "No harm," she said. I could manage no response. "No harm," she said again, but this time to the metal men and women behind her. Now she stands here in the study with me, reading the books. I think she asked for them? I brought her here on the day of the breach, but I have forgotten what we spoke of. I said a lot in my panic, and she said very little. It all happened so quickly. Her brethren have all remained behind, down below, but she has not left the study. She's looking at me. 12th of Rain's Hand, 4th Era, 18. Her name is Lamashtu. Her progress in learning Cyrodiilic is astonishing. She reads my books and listens to the conversation of the staff, and already I can converse with her easily. The servants are not glad to have this audience, though. That much is clear. They are plainly afraid of what we have discovered, but it is just as plain to me that these metal men mean us, well, no harm, as Lamashtu said. Lamashtu has promised to show me Nernderal, for that is the name of the Dwemer catacombs beneath us. Actually, she has said that she will have her brother, Lahar, show it to me. I think she wants to stay in the study. She says that she and her metal brethren are called the Gilded, but I am as of yet unsure what they are exactly. Apparently they have always been beneath our feet and have never ventured out. They do resemble animunculi. That is all I can say. I realize more and more each day that the discovery of the Gilded is a monumental one, but Lamashtu has requested privacy. I'm not sure of her reasons, but I can certainly think of my own. Dwemer animunculi are known to be generally hostile, and quite dangerous. I dread the thought of what might happen if some kind of military attention fell on them. The staff may spread tales. How could I stop them? But I have heard how they speak of this discovery. I doubt anyone will believe the particulars of their tales. And they will be thought of as just that, tales. 1st of 2nd Seed, 4th Era, 18. The resources to be found in Nernderal are beyond my ability to count or really value. In particular, that wonderful metal, that famous Dwemer metal that confounds all who try to unlock the secrets of its fabrication. I did put the question to Lamashtu, but I am no smith or alchemist, is all she would say. She has answered many of my questions about the truly amazing machines down there, though. I can barely sleep. It feels like my mind is on fire with the possibilities. Lahar is taking to his new job well, too. After showing me some of Nernderal, he followed me up to the castle. I did not mind. To begin with, he was almost as well spoken as Lamashtu. I think she must have been teaching him, or perhaps he already knew. Much like Lamashtu had, Lahar began to follow the staff and observe their work, to their visible chagrin. Before long, he expressed an interest in taking up the role of a caretaker of the castle. Already he is invaluable. He is careful, quick, and most remarkably, does not appear to need food or sleep. 22nd of 2nd Seed, 4th Era, 18. My studies of Nernderal's machines consume my attention, as do my plans regarding what I learned from them. I look to Lamashtu as representative of that domain and of her kind. Besides Lahar, who is agreeable, if simple, she is the only one able, or perhaps willing, to speak with me. The others merely stare as I pass, and ignore my attempts at conversation. I asked her permission to salvage what scraps of metal could be found lying broken and useless in the halls of Nernderal for use in my own works. However impassive her manner, she did agree. This is tremendously exciting. The metal can be melted down and reshaped as I desire, and there is so much of it to be had. I go to work. 25th of Mid-Year, 4th Era, 18. The mausoleum has become a thoroughfare. Metal, warped scraps, and whole pieces is carted out of Nernderal into the workroom by small groups of Gilded. There the casting molds wait. Things are taking shape. The Journal of Ludwig Clodovec, Part 3. First of Sun's Height, 4th Era, 18. The staff are all leaving. This has been building for some time. It's their fear of the Gilded. More and more of their number are effectively taking up residence in the castle as they help with my work. As with Lamashtu and Lahar, they also took to observing the staff in their daily tasks. Never speaking, just watching. I think it all became too much. Perhaps it's for the best. I'm told that the company is not doing well. Less money is coming in. In truth, it is a relief. I never know what to say to them anyway. Even to Annalise. She was always kind to me. She actually asked me to leave as well. That's not something I could do, though. Especially not now. I could have sworn that she looked disappointed. It would have been nice to think of why that might be. But that can't be it. It must be my imagination. Still, it is sad to think that I will likely never see her again. In any case, Lamashtu was quick to point out that the staff are not even truly required anymore. Not with her brethren being here and able to take up the work. Today I offered to pay them all a wage for this work, but Lamashtu declined, saying that all they needed was something to occupy them. Lahar echoed this sentiment. I suppose I shall have to take them at their word. None of the other brethren will speak to me after all. 3rd of Heartfire, 4th Era 20. Behold the common tap or spigot, the pipes of cast metal to carry the water, the appropriated Dwemer pump, and the steam to make it go. Steam. Steam under pressure. It makes it all go. Now I have water at the turn of a tap. Heated water even. That Dwemer boiler was perfect for the task. 23rd of First Theed, 4th Era 21. Today I have heard that the Clodovec Trading Company is no more. By accounts, it was in a slow decline since the Red Year and Mother's death, but now it has finally happened. We all have our share of the remaining wealth, and it is not insubstantial. I do not have to worry for myself or my remaining family. Indeed, I have continued my jewelry business all this time, and even overseeing some of the Gilded in creating additional pieces. Some things need to be arranged, but overall, this is nothing to fret over. Things here won't change. 5th of Rain's Hand, 4th Era 24. I can't abide first-time meetings. Can anyone? No one knows what to say to one another. Who are you, they would say. What is it that you do? By which, of course, they mean, please describe your quantifiable worth to society in a short sentence. 6th of Frostfall, 4th Era 21. Father's beautiful glass garden, perched atop the castle, never did function as he wanted. It would never hold the warmth the plants needed. It all leached out into the frigid mountain air, and the plants froze and died. Now that I can tap into that seemingly endless supply of pressurized steam, produced by some unknown means deep in Nernderal, the glass dark garden is finally as warm and vaporous as I could ever want. 19th of Sun's Dawn, 4th Era 23. An amazing discovery today, though I would not have known if it were not for Lamashtu. In excavating a new room for the cellar, the workers struck what appears by its curve to be a great metal sphere. Dwemer metal, like everything down there, but unlike any other items of Dwemer manufacture I have yet seen. Lamashtu came to look at it, and it seems that she recognizes it. After some thought, she said that it had been called a machine for far walking without steps. A rough translation, I think. I am simply calling it the travel machine for now, as that is apparently what it is for, teleporting one to a far-off location and back again. She speaks of it as of a barely remembered thing from one's childhood. But Lamashtu tells me that the machine is like a crossroads, with paths striking out in many directions from it. At the end of each road is a terminus machine, and this is where one would appear upon entering the travel machine here. Similarly, entering a terminus machine would bring one back here. I have asked for the workers to uncover the sphere in its entirety. This is very exciting. 30th of Heartfire, 4th Era 23. The travel machine is to be my own grand project. Quite early on, we found a kind of panel on its surface that could be removed. Behind it were etched a series of pictographs that Lamashtu aided me in deciphering. We have concluded that they give instruction in the assembly and operation of the machine. The work required is lengthy and arduous. It would be impossible if the Gilded were not here to help me. A large chamber to house it must be dug out and supported with stonework. The machine itself has been buried in the dirt for who knows how long. Excavation continues, but it is painstaking. After that, it must be raised up, righted, and supported in place. It must be cleaned thoroughly, inside and out, and broken pieces must be recast and replaced. It is to require an extraordinary amount of piping. There is a lot going unused down in Nirnderal, but will it be enough? I expect this to take years. But it is the power of teleportation, and not just in the hands of powerful mages. It is hard to imagine what a boon it would have been to the Clodovec Company, had it not closed its doors. 22nd of 2nd Theed, 4th Era 24. Work on the travel machine continues. In the meantime, I have been inspired by the idea of the travel machine to create my own structure that facilitates fast transportation of items across the castle. It relies on the principles of pneumatic pressure to propel items through pipes that have been laid beneath the floors and behind the walls. My first practical test was a pipe that ran between a terminal in the kitchen and one in my bedroom. It worked much as I expected, though the first attempts were messy. I shall expand the structure of pipes throughout the castle. It will be more disruptive than the gas lights were, as the pipes are much larger, but worth it in the end, I feel. A funny thing also. I have heard that rather than Clodovec Castle, people have come to call my home Clockwork Castle, for all the machinery here. It is a fitting name, I think. I like it. 11th of Rain's Hand, 4th Era 30. I am frustrated by the interminable work required by the travel machine. So much work and yet so little to occupy my time. I simply lack the strength of the Gilded, and for now there is nothing I can help with. To alleviate my boredom, I recently began work on a method for controlling the machine. It is something I've given a lot of thought to. How to inform the machine of where I want to go. I am sculpting what will become a cast metal relief map of Skyrim. Only, Skyrim, Lamashtu assures me that it could not take me anywhere else. Once cast, I will affix mechanical buttons to the places on the map that the machines can take me. It shall be beautiful. I certainly have the time to make it so. 4th of Frostfall, 4th Era 32. Today, one of the Gilded workers struck me as we were working on the travel machine. He had been giving me odd looks all morning, so I had kept an eye on him in turn and saw the blow coming in time to mostly evade him. He still caught me on the arm and knocked me to the floor, raising a nasty bruise. He stood above me, silent all the while, and for a moment I feared for my life. Fortunately, I then heard Lahar rounding the corner, and I looked to him for help. But now it was Lahar looking at me oddly, sprawled on the floor, as the worker had already turned back to his task as if nothing was amiss. Still, I had to tell Lahar what had happened. I hardly feel safe around the Gilded these days. He said a soft something to the worker that I didn't catch, and my assailant left for Nirnderal without a word, later to be replaced by a different Gilded. I am thankful that the machine is almost finished. 20th of Thun's Dusk, 4th Era 33. It is like tuning a musical instrument. Fine adjustments until the right tone is struck and the travel machine stirs to life. A bright blue portal shining in its heart. This is how we find where the thing can take us, which terminus machines out there yet function. I was reluctant to go through the shimmering portal. How could we truly know where it led, or even if one would arrive with life and limbs intact? What if an unfriendly person awaited on the other side? Lahar did not seem to share my concerns, however, and strolled through the portal before I knew what he intended. He was gone so long that I thought him lost, and when he returned, he was caked in dirt, as if he had dug his way out of a grave. "I saw the banners of Whiterun," he said to me. "The caravan brings us mead from there." I marked down the tuning, and we moved to the next. Lahar went fearlessly into the portal again and again, though I have made him cover his metal body with what clothes would fit. He would be a strange sight indeed to anyone that might see him otherwise. 9th of Evening Star, 4th Era 33. Today I took my first steps outside Clockwork Castle in over a decade. How is it that so much time has passed? It was well outside the castle too. The travel machine works. I stood outside the Markarth Clockwork terminus for several minutes, watching the crowds across the river entering and leaving the city. So many people. And that was enough for me. I returned to make the sentry. There were long years in which I thought this day would never come, but now it is here. The machine works. Now there is no more need for the caravans to make the trip through the Velothi tunnels, delivering my supplies. Lahar has said that he will do it instead, using the travel machine. "12th of Midyear, 4th Era 35. This morning I awoke to find that all the gilded, excepting Lamashtu and Lahar, had left during the night. Lahar says they have all returned to Nernderal. To be honest, I am relieved. I was beginning to feel like a prisoner in my own home. I dared not enter a room if one of the workers was in there, doing their chores. I don't know how to properly describe it, but for some time now they have exuded such a sense of menace that I feel in danger around them. Fortunately, Clockwork Castle has earned its name. With all the work I've done here, all the labor-saving machines, the workers are no longer needed. Lahar is more than enough. After all, there is no great entourage here to feed and clothe. No mothers, fathers, children, and dogs. There is just me. Only me. The Journal of Ludwig Clodovec, Part 4. 5th of Thunsight, 4th Era 37. An awful realization has been in my thoughts lately. Or, rather than a realization, a question. If I were to die, say of some accident in the workroom, how long would it be until I was found? The answer, I think, is that the longer I stay here, out of the world, the more any knowledge or memories of me will fade from those out there, and the longer it would be until I was found, tending towards infinity. It's almost mathematical. 13th of Evening Star, 4th Era 44. It occurs to me that I am so accustomed to the useful machines in Clockwork Castle that I can scarcely imagine life without them. And yet, do devices like these exist anywhere else? They could improve the lives of others too, but would anyone accept them? What real use would these contraptions be, they would ask, or how could we possibly afford to build such extravagances? And yet I spend all my days in the workroom, crafting machines and objects of utility and beauty. Perhaps one day, when I've done enough, when I'm finished, I can show it all to someone. 10th of Frostfall, 4th Era 53. I cannot remember the last time I actually spoke aloud. Once there was so much to say, so much to learn from Lamashtu, and so much to organize with Lahar. Now, though, everything is settled. Every moment runs into the next with the precision and predictability of a perfect machine. Every day is exactly the same. There is nothing more to say. When was the last time I spoke to someone from outside the castle? Someone not made of metal? It must have been around when the travel machine was completed. Has it really been so long? I don't know that I could raise my voice anymore, not even to save my life. I don't want it to be heard. 29th of First Seed, 4th Era 54. They're warm to the touch, aren't they? Am I not warm? Lamashtu, Lahar, the lady in the walls. They are all so cold. 1st of Heartfire, 4th Era 60. Clocks driven by soul gems, marking time for an eternity. Are they aware? What do they see with no eyes? What do they feel with no skin? 7th of Midyear, 4th Era 68. Does the mind require other minds to inform its thoughts? Do they otherwise reflect back uselessly and endlessly unchanged? An echo chamber? But I say nothing. Could I still speak? I dare not speak. 11th of Thundusk, 4th Era 83. I do nothing but sit here in this chamber, the cobwebs growing about me, and the dust staining my skin. I could not bear their eyes upon me, and the weight of the judgment behind those eyes would be too much as well. I think I shall simply stay here instead. There is a feeling rising in me that my time here is growing short. It is obvious to me that I should note down my last will, but then there is no one to give it all to. And I have nothing to offer in any case. Who would want what I have? I don't want to reflect on my life. It was no good, really. It's no good. Surely, though, it was better than nothing.
What are you doing? That must be Ludwig. He used to live here with us. I had not spoken to him for a long time. I suppose he must have died in there. I forgot about death. It was a long time ago, for me. I am nearly 4,000 years old. For me, time is difficult. Men and women are victims of time, whereas I turned for a moment to ponder, and when I turned back, you're all dead. Towards the end, Ludwig shut himself away, and would see no one. Items such as food and books were sent up using the pneumatic tube system. For a time, Lahar continued to deliver his food, and the food was eaten. I believe now that the vermin began to eat the food, once Ludwig stopped. Caretaking is Lahar's sole interest. You should ask him. You're still here. I see. Yes. Then you can stay. It is simple. You are trapped here, therefore you cannot leave here, therefore you must live here. Yes, I had him give me the key. Lahar can be simple. If he had decided to go back down there and try to fix the pipeline again, he might not have returned. You wish to try to fix the pipeline yourself. Very well. Here. I may have answers. I am a machine of bone and metal. I am a machine. I am made of bone and metal. Somewhat. Very well. Abactu markictu a thumbs amakai, the abactu vadod kagortium kickthamsa. No, you wouldn't. Ghosts are not particularly unusual. They are a recognized phenomenon. How so? I see. I see. A sound. I see. Very well. Clockwork Castle has been cut off from the outside world for well over 100 years. Until you came along, that is. Of course, the destruction left in your wake means that once again, no one is going to find this place. We are the Gilded. He means the rest of our kind, down in Erndural. Though we may all look the same, we are not. 3 children wrote their names upon the world. The first gouged it into the dirt. The second carved into the flesh of a tree. The third chipped into solid stone. Thus they recorded their memory upon the world. The first child's name was washed away with the first rain. The second child's name grew and distorted with the tree until it died. The memory survives, but twisted almost beyond recognition. The third child's name remains unchanged for as long as the stone endures. The gilded down below are the first children. Lahar is a second child. I am the third. I have no mouth, no lips, no tongue and no throat. My heart shivers in my chest, and words are produced from my speaker horn. Very well. If there is nothing else,
is there anything I can do to help? What needs to be done? Nothing is dead. That is a terrible shame. I shall remove his body and place it in the mausoleum. Once it is unlocked, I shall also clean the area surrounding his body. It must be very dusty by now. Very well, I shall clear them away. Certainly. Certainly. Of course. Of course. Let me know if you need anything else.